Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3 4. Can everybody hear me okay? Hey, Ed. Henry? All right. The market itself is sort of trending, what I would say, like it did the last 30 minutes of Friday. It just, broke its reference bar and stuff like that. We'll see how it plays out. Let it trade through Asia and in the morning, and then we'll, get serious about it. But you could see, you just get a feel of heaviness in the market right now. And I told you last week, statistically, this next week after this run that we've had is sort of a corrective time period. We'll just see how that plays out. But right now there is a little weight on the market, and we'll just see how it looks in the morning. But I hope everybody's doing great. Hello, Reckitt. How you doing? There's Edwin. Edwin's here. Hey, Edwin. Richard. Frank. A lot of great people here. We got a big crowd tonight. So let me get through it. Just to remind everybody, join that Telegram channel. There'll be a reason if you hang around me very long to come into one of the rooms and get involved. You can join Telegram, you can join YouTube, and there's risks involved in trading. I always like to cover that. And guess what? Past performance is not indicative of future results. There's the two websites. Adam typed it into the room. Now, we'd already decided there's going to be two reports every month. We go really live for at 8:30 Eastern time in YouTube, and that YouTube only will be the unemployment report at the first of the month and the CPI report at the middle of the month. Two interesting reports of the big five, and right now probably the two most important reports that the government puts out, CPI and unemployment. Now, my schedule this week, I have nothing scheduled on Monday. I am teaching a futures class. Tuesday, I have 10:45 Connect the Dots. Have a flash meeting later on that morning at 11. Wednesday, I have a flash meeting at 10:30, 8 p.m. that night, Wednesday on the web. Thursday, I have a flash meeting. It's a 10 for 10 meeting on Thursday, and at 2:30, we have a flash meeting. Friday, we have our weekly wrap up, and hopefully by that time, we've been able to carve out what I would call a few nice trades. What I'm hoping for. See if we can do it. In my opinion, market will give us an opportunity, even if it's in the short time, finding something that might be correcting, in my opinion. Now, here's my tickers for the week. If you look here, they're all greater than signs because we're in a bull market. And the closer we get to October 21st, you're going to start seeing some of these stocks that I have on my list start singing for joy, so to speak. There's the numbers I'll be using, writing down. This 10 tickers really seems we get 3 or 4 a week if you pay attention. Does everybody enjoy this part of the night where I give you the 10 tickers for next week? Y'all want me to keep doing this? John says yes. Jim, still, oh yeah, y'all do enjoy this particular slide. We'll take a picture of it. There it is. Probabilities are good tomorrow. Tomorrow's Columbus Day. Might have a little light volume, but it is trading tomorrow. Tuesday's good. Wednesday's good. Thursday's good. And Friday's good. Probably what happens in a corrective week, you see an early softening by a strong finish. That means that RBY and RBZ will be important RBs to watch. Okay. Seven Sisters update. You got the S&P at 21, and NASDAQ's at 20, Dow's 13, DAX is 14, gold is 28, crude is 3.5, and bonds are down at 3.64. Really, I'm surprised at that, honestly. After the hoopla we had about the half a point, it went up and reversed, which means they got second thoughts, buyer's regret, so to speak, on bonds. Got to watch bonds very closely after this next Fed meeting. Our planning and goal setting call, we got that set up for you. We've had a lot of people respond to this to get a plan in place. And I get asked this question quite a bit. Tom, why do you love to day trade? Well, let me go back to when I started in this business. I worked at Merrill. That was at that time, it was a place that everybody wanted to work at. And I noticed there was a real pattern there. I was in Oklahoma at the time, and crude oil, that's where I learned to trade crude, by the way. There were a lot of speculators in that office, meaning customers. And I noticed that the little ladies that were married to those speculators outlasted their husbands and ended up with all the money. And once they got the money, the speculating account turned into a collect interest and don't take overnight risk. Well, you had a great part of that office was in interest-bearing accounts, not taking overnight risk, where you had the speculators shooting, I call it shooting the moon. And I thought, wouldn't it be great, wouldn't it be great to have the best of both worlds? Live like the speculators during the day, and when the night came around, you're solid, because you lose money on overnight risk. Clearly, that is where people have lost great fortunes in the market. Anybody ever woke up the next day and had a stock they were up on, and the next day it got crashed due to a dividend or something happening to that stock? You ever have that happen? And you go, wow, we looked so good on a Tuesday, and here on Wednesday we got our face peeled. Yeah, me too. And so my first love is day trading. That's why I do a lot of day trading, avoiding that overnight risk with money. And that's the whole goal, is to try to go in, make about 20% and go back to cash. That's the perfect situation. Okay. And that's what we teach the reference bars that I learned from the days when I had my Globex terminal. Okay. So that's why I love it. Now, they came along with this pattern day trade rule and really put a hamper on small accounts. And so I decided to teach people, and I spent a lot of time through video after video, class after class, showing you ways around the pattern day trade rule. And I think I've developed about as good a system you can have with a small account, not to end up in day trade jail. Okay? Right, Buck. That was the original name of DTI, was the Day Trading Institute. Absolutely. For the life of me, it took me about a year to come up with Diversified Trading Institute, because I didn't want to change those expensive letters on the front of my building in Mobile. Little side story there. Big picture, market's getting ready to run. I believe in the date. Have y'all been listening? What date did I tell you that's a key date for you to really pay attention? You got it, October 21st. You've been listening. That's the date. Election, there's two scenarios. I said this the other day. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. This is my opinion. I think there's two scenarios with this election. And it's not based on whether it's Democrat or Republican, it's based on policy. I believe we'll have a bull market like we've never seen before if Trump wins. I believe that we'll have a bear market like we've never seen before if Harris wins. And that's my opinion. You can have a different opinion, but that's just what my opinion is. We'll see who's right. Income opportunities each week using the method. On Tuesdays, following the 7 Sisters, you can find income opportunities. We had one build over in gold last week on GLD. Gold's in a bull market. You can't forget that when it when it's in a bull market, like making highs, they'll have air pockets where it goes up and then all of a sudden drops. That's an air pocket. I believe silver will solidly outperform gold, but it's going to be very volatile. YouTube Live will have the opportunity days, unemployment, CPI. Get joined, youtube.com/@TBuzzTNT. If you do get on there, be sure you click that little bell where you get notification in case I do something other than the unemployment CPI live. Maybe a Fed meeting I'll broadcast. Maybe an earnings announcement. I might do something that really drills in on doing it. Last 3 months of the year have always been very good to me as a trader. It started off real good in October. I got to win at my sales. I'm planning on taking advantage of it. Hope you're part of it with me. I'm looking forward to certain days or even higher probability opportunities. First, you must establish the trend. We do that by looking at the first 3-day algo, which is the 3-day high, 3-day low. Does everybody have the number that we went higher than that turned the current market in a bullish market for October? Everybody have that number, the 3-day high. When somebody got the roadmap, I can't do it right now, but go look at, maybe Jonathan can tell it to us, but that is the number that we're above. Typically, when you have a correction week, it will correct down to that number, the 3-day high of the E-mini. So if you go up there to your trade tracker, I think it's listed right there on your trade tracker. Yeah, cost, that's right. 57.75 is the number. 57.75. We're a lot higher than that right now. Doesn't have to get that low, but it could, and it wouldn't mean a thing. We know the trend this year has been up. October's offered that fresh start. It's looking good. All we have to do is wait after October 21st, I believe. October open is one exception to my rule about trying to stay above the yearly open. Certain stocks, when they hit October, are on a different year than we started on. So you got to look at stocks in October. The October open is a very important open, and I want you to look at it only second to the yearly open. So, for example, you might look at the yearly open for bonds, and you might dial in the October open. You start trading above that, then bonds will probably climb to that resistance. That's an example. Or a stock that's been down all year and all of a sudden is up in October. That's a stock that usually has legs if it stays up throughout October, goes above the 3-day high, keeps making highs during the month. If you pay attention and do this right, you can pick out some early movers. Like last October, there were a lot of early movers after that bear market. Very interesting. These depressed stocks find their way and they start going. A lot of money's made in depressed stocks catching air here in October, November, December. Don't exclude anything. Everything's on the table once October starts. By the way, did you know that October is the start of the new fiscal year for the U.S. government? Did everybody know that? That's why I have this exception to the general DTI approach. October, U.S. government is an exception in that that's the start of their fiscal year. Now, from a seasonality standpoint, the first 2 weeks of October, everybody starts getting their high hopes. Typically, you see a sideways to down. We didn't this year. You saw a market that caught a bid, got higher than that 3-day high, and it's been sort of bullish. Now, sudden outs can happen in October. I'll give you one date. There's a big one, October 19th, 1987. I was there. You read about my book, if you get my book, Winning the Day Trading Game. Not unusual to see increased volatility. You notice how the VIX has risen in October. Everything's in play. Everything's out there on the table. This year, October 21st, is the day I've set the focus in on getting our stocks that we're going to play, big ones, small ones, and everything else as we close out the year. Here's the first 5 stocks I think will put a smile on your face here in October. They are Berkshire, IBM, NVIDIA, QQQ, and GLD. This is my best look going into October 21st. We'll see how these stocks handle it the first 3 weeks and get us set up for the remaining part of the year. Now, when I get my 5 stocks in place, I start to develop targets for year end. Inside the roadmap, we have a great tool that will give us targets. We call it the predictor. If you look at Berkshire, if I'm right, you should see 492.50 by December. That's a nice trade from here, isn't it? When Berkshire is trading, if you look at it right, Friday's close, I'm going to say, if you look at Berkshire's Friday's close, let me give it to you real quick. I'll look closer here. 455. Would that be a nice trade to be in Berkshire, seeing it going to 492 in October? Would that make everybody smile and make me smile? I got a bunch of this in my IRA. Absolutely. IBM, 252.80 is IBM. Look at IBM. IBM has been a workhorse for the market, if you think about it. IBM's at 232. That's about 20-something points. Add these up. That's 40 points, 20 points, 100 shares. If you had 100 shares of each, it'd be $6,000. What about NVIDIA? I'm saying NVIDIA could get to 159. NVIDIA is at 134. That's 25 points. That's $2,500 on 100 shares. Now, if you use options, you use in the money options. If after October 21st, if they set up, you see the power of what I'm showing. This is a way to erase a lot of your sins in 2024. QQQ, what are we looking at? 530. The QQQ is at 492. That's 38 points. 38 points. There's another 3,800. And gold. What is gold? I've been bullish on gold for a long time. Target 250. It's about $11 or so on that GLD. It should be a lot of income trades in there if we get the right strike, right expiration date. Those are the 5 stocks I believe that will set you up very sweetly. Now, here's a stock I've never traded. It got close. I almost did, but it didn't. Zeta's on my watch list. It hadn't earned the top 5 spot. I got it in there. I want to see this stock. This stock shows a lot of potential this last quarter. Keep your eye on it. It's not ready yet, but it's a stock, small price stock we might make some hay with. Zeta. The other aspect I bring to the table is the ability to trade a higher accuracy rate. I achieve this through the reference bar approach, anywhere from 10 to 25% on the QQQ based on the amount risked. 530 there, Christine. 530 is the target on QQQ. Now, 5 examples, all services trades. I call it the hurricane trade. Y'all remember that trade on October 10th? My internet fell apart. Hurricane was here. The wind was blowing. I was working to find trades. What did I do? I bought the QQQ for everybody, all services. Bought it at 90 cents, exited out at $1.09. There you go. That's why I love day trading right there. Look at that. That was only a 25-cent trade. $1.20, $1.36, 13% on that one. Bonus trade here, $1.05, $1.24, bonus trade. All services trade, 99 to $1.14.15. I would say that if you get one of these, you ought to take it. Pretty good, isn't it? Turn your account around and move on. Now, once we leave October, you go into November. The most bullish day of the year is the day after Thanksgiving. For the last 15 years, the day after Thanksgiving has been a big winner for anybody that shows up. We get in early, we make our money while everybody else is trying to figure out that the market's even open. Did y'all know the market's open the day after Thanksgiving? Some of y'all have been with me on those trading days in the past, but it's been pretty good, hasn't it? The day after Thanksgiving. November 29th, circle that on your calendar. It kicks off the rally you go into December with. A key economic report will be that unemployment report the first week. And then we find that we finish out the year. But here's a little secret about December. Yeah, Mike, it is. We call it Green Friday. That's right, Don. The last week of the year, everybody that wants to will be invited to trade with me. I've traded it every year for the last 20 years that week. What you're going to find out is once it starts that trend, whether it's up or down, that last week of the year, it really is a pretty good trend from that opening to the close on Friday. Not a lot of people around to turn that trend once it gets over the ledge. I'll show you where the ledge is if you tune in. Earnings reports will be popping in October. See some stability step in, maybe some stocks that were weak. October 21st, November 29th, and the last week are key dates. Now, there's the high probability days for October, low probability days. The PPI report we went through Friday. This coming Wednesday, or not this coming Wednesday, on October 30th, we have GDP. Now, this is when, after October 21st, is where we build that end-of-year portfolio. Be there. I will call a flash meeting, and all of you will be invited when I do after the 21st. How you like that one? November, elections November 5th. Go vote. Whether you agree with me or not, go vote. FOMC, Thursday, November 7th. And the presidential election years are up on average 2.3% after the vote. Also starts the best 6 months of the year. Pretty good stuff. December, FOMC meeting on Wednesday, December the 18th. That's what I'll be on probably YouTube on that day. The small cap should outperform, and that's our story. Now I'll go into the end of the year set up for success. We'll take some time. Got to have the right tools. We open up their calendar to meet with you. Make sure you got a plan in place. I will be talking to people. They will set that up, but take the time tonight. Reach out. Go to dtitrader.com and get a phone call where we get a good plan for you personally. Everybody's different. Everybody is different. Take the time, get a call scheduled. We got to have it and work it in on everybody's schedule, yours included. We have to plan it, and you'll be notified. All you do is go to dtitrader.com, say, hey, I'd like to have a call to plan my last quarter of the year. It will happen. Folks, that's what I see forward. I gave you my schedule for this week. This week's going to be interesting. We'll be starting our futures class tomorrow at 8. Be involved. Don't sit there and watch the world go by. Pay attention. Any questions anybody has? Any questions anybody has? Adam, you enjoyed it, did you? Wendy, you enjoyed it, did you? Yeah, futures class is at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah, the 5 tickers are good all week, Rick. Depends on it depends on if you're on a 90-day, it might be better to open another account. Not this week, Christine. Oh, of course there's black swan risk in October, William. There's war in the Middle East, unbounds, that could be one. A successful assassination could be one. Yeah, Henry, I thought I put that on the schedule. Who is coming to my election night party? Yeah, I don't think that either, Rochelle, but that's a Black Swan event. I've done one for the last 20 years. One of the guys that's been with me for years said, anybody wants to make money, I'll be there. All right, well, we're going to set it up. I just let y'all be the first to know I'll be doing another one this year on election night. Be sure that you're a member of TNT, T-Buzz TNT, because I will be trading the election that night, and you ought to be part of it. Thanks, Edwin. The 10 tickers are like putting 10 fish in a barrel and getting to pick the best. And sometimes you get the lobster. I like that, Edwin. That's good. All right, folks, it's going to be a long week. Let's have some fun together. Be smart what you do. Remember, Monday's the day we gather our numbers. But there's some opportunities that come along, so pay attention. I'll notify you if I see any. Y'all be cool. Thanks. I enjoyed this presentation. We'll see everybody, as I always say, on the flip side.